Hey, testing. Testing. Sorry, I was just setting up. Running about 10 minutes late. When you're in a new place, it takes a little bit of time. My chair is really high. I'm like looking down at my screen. It's so annoying. But I'm kind of in a hotel reception area. It's so annoying. I wish I could sit lower, but there's no way. I can't see any medium-sized chairs around. Or maybe I should bring my laptop up. I don't know how I can bring my laptop up. I'm gonna have to crouch like this. Anyway, hey, Craft off. Hey, how's it going? All right, let's let's see what happens. Let's look at the charts, huh? Let's look at everything. I'm gonna look at Bitcoin. Gonna look at QANX. Gonna look at TRVL by Dtravel. I'm in Bogota right now. It's 10:13 a.m. So that should be 9:13 a.m. in El Salvador. That should be 3:13 p.m. in London, UK time. I hope the sound is okay. I never know. It's hard to know. Just maximize that screen. And yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Let's go straight into the charts. Usually when I look at the charts, I like to see what I was talking about the previous week, don't I? So let me just go to the previous week. I always do that. A week's a long time in the charts, and also a week's a long time in my mind, in my life, and so usually I forget what I talked about. So let's go to Bitcoin. What was I talking about? Wickfields, was that the one? 6 days ago. That's the one. Let's have a look. Actually, let me just go to the live one because that will have all of them. This is it. Bullish volume, bottoming, coming, nice bounce. Let's have a look at this one. Get rid of the volume. What was I talking about? I was going over the previous analysis. I said that the point of control moved down. I think I said that we were getting bearish CVD. And what I was saying was that the previous trade plan was still okay. I think that's what I kind of concluded with, just because the point of control moved lower. And so I didn't really create a new plan. I just said this is probably still okay. I said that there was bearish volume. Bearish CVD. But I said that the volume was bullish because the point of control had dropped. And that was bullish, even though we were seeing bearish CVD. And I was still contemplating for the same plan, just because I saw that the stock markets are pumping. And this was like on Friday. If you remember, I looked at the Russell 2000, so it's a bit far ahead. The SPX, is at SPX all-time highs. Russell 2000 was pumping. And I said, well, because we're ending the week on a pump on the markets, we're probably going to see a weekend pump. And that's kind of what I was talking about in last week's stream. And let's go and have a look. That was Friday. That was here, wasn't it? So that was when I did the stream. It was there. It dropped because of the bearish CVD. And then it just went up and up and up. And it hit my target, huh? You see that? By a fraction. Like literally. I kind of front run but it actually front run the 618. You can see that by a couple of dollars or whatever. And then went up again, try and hit it again. That was on Monday. So we had a weekend pump, didn't we? You remember my stream? I said there's probably going to be a weekend pump, and it did. It pumped. From Friday, it pumped 5%. Hit my target, rejected, came all the way down. Looks like it came down to the value area low. It looks like it's just ignored the point of control, which isn't good. And the question is this plan still valid? Because I said it was valid last week already. Is it still valid? And that's what I'm going to analyze now. So let me kind of hide that. Let me do what I do, which is just kind of hide everything and redo everything. So it'll take a little bit of time, but I think it's necessary because I haven't looked at this properly. If I pause that, I don't want to. Yeah, let's pause that. Let's also just quickly have a look at exo charts. Look at the order flow. My exo charts has been lagging a lot these days. I don't know why. Oh, it's actually okay right now. Just to kind of see if we can see anything here. Nah, not really. Look at that. You see 35. This is bullish, CVD lower, higher lows. So we're getting bullish CVD here, bouncing off the VWAP. And we're above daily open. That generally is bullish. So across this whole range, you see the CVD's been going down and the lows are getting higher. So I'd say that's quite bullish. It's good to have a look at the order flow. My YouTube stream is saying that no one is watching, but I know there's some people watching. I think I got a lag spike with a 1.7% packet loss. I can see there's slight packet loss, very minuscule. So if you're watching me and you see that if I drop off, just say something in chat and then I'll pause for a little bit. I hope not, because it just makes my life a misery when the stream disconnects, because it means editing is a nightmare. Because I like to just edit through YouTube because it's so much simpler and quicker. All right, so let's just kind of look at the volume. That's what I always do. I look at the volume. Which one am I looking for? Which one is that one? No. Should be another one. There it is. All right. Let's just kind of have a look at the volume first. Can you hear the background noise? It's like some really cheesy hotel music. It's so cheesy. And this place, this auditorium is packed with people having their breakfast. That's all I can hear. There's some cheesy background music. Not real much changes. Let's get rid of that. Let's draw kind of the... At what volume do you take now? I mean... Drawing volume is also somewhat subjective. Oh, whoa, look at that. This is interesting. Let's get rid of that higher volume. Let's hide that. Focus on this local volume here. And this is a question where, like, is this correct, really? Should it just not be... Kind of go to a slightly higher time frame, 12 hours. Should we not do it from here, this candle where it entered? Just update this completely. Isn't that better? What about this volume here? Do you take it all the way from here? This is the higher range. That's really interesting. This is really interesting. All right. So let's just kind of mix this up a bit. Let's just change this a little bit. All right. I'm just going to update all of this actually. I'm kind of combining my range now. Go for a slightly wider range. And you may ask me, how do you do the range? How do you work out the range? And based on volume, right? And I mean, just a quick lesson, I guess. Here you can clearly see, I'll show you, I'll explain it. Here you can see, so this is like Education 101. Here you can see there's a clear SR flip, don't you? See that? That's an SR flip. And so when you're dealing with SR flips, when you see the SR flip, you're basically saying that we've left one range, wherever this first range was. Let's just say it was from there to there. See that? That's an SR flip too. So this is the first range, and you've left that range. And what you're looking at is when you're saying you leave one range, you're actually entering a new range. Yeah, you don't. It's always range to range. Always. You don't go from a range to nothingness. You go from a range to a range to a range. It's always ranging. Yeah. And that's how you figure out your volume. So when you're calculating volume, what you're looking at, sometimes it's hard to see on the lower time frames, but what you're looking at is basically the first candle that takes you into the new volume, which is usually the SR flip. Okay, and you know the SR flip because you can see here you have a back test of that on a slightly higher time frame, not higher time frame, but slightly higher than lower time frame. You can see there's a clear SR flip back test. So we know that we're in a new range because that's a clear flip. So that's kind of how you calculate your ranges based on volume. And what you want to do is you want to draw the volume to the current candle. We're using a 12-hour time frame right now. Right, so this is correct because we have the first candle that enters that new range. And you can see here the point control is down here at 96 something. We've got this high volume node. We've got another high volume node. This we can delete now. Got the value area high. And then we have the value area low. So I kind of updated that higher range volume now. We have another, I have another folder here, higher range volume levels. Okay, I don't know what that is. I'll probably have to delete that. So now we've got that. What you're looking at is local volume. How do you work out local volume? Well, it's the local price action. And so in this context, it's a tricky one because where's the range? You could do it a few ways. You can do it just when it's above. See, there's a little flip going on here, a bit of a wash here. Could do it from somewhere around here. Let's hide that. Let's just update this. Or I've done it just from when it goes up, but then it's kind of lost it. Or you can kind of just have the up move volume. The up move volume will be from where it puts that pivot in. And based on the up move volume, you can see that we're range bound in this value area. Except we're slightly underneath the point of control, which is really important. 96 is a really strong level. I'm using the 12-hour time frame. I feel we're a little bit bearish right now. Just because of this drop. Underneath the point of control. We're washing this liquidity. It's being taken. And the price isn't really going up. It's kind of going sideways. So you're kind of capturing buy side liquidity without going up, without reclaiming. It's not crazy bullish, is it? It's not crazy bullish. You got something going on here. But I don't know if we're going to be able to get up that high. Last 12 hours, we had a bullish engulfing. But now we're stuck underneath this high volume node, which is also the local point of control, this local range. Let me just kind of do this local range a bit wider. This candle. Maybe that's better, huh? Because we bounced off that local value area. Let's kind of widen it a bit. We're stuck. This point of control. Bounce. It's quite a nice bounce though. Look at that bounce. With a nice buying tail. All right, I've got the volume. I'm just kind of really going deep into that, aren't I? What else do I want to do? Let's have a look at the monthly levels. Let's have a look at my higher time frame levels. Bring it to the top. Wash monthly, wash daily, daily, daily. We have a wash monthly there. We've washed that monthly, huh? Oof. Big time. Yeah, we're capturing all of this liquidity. See that? Let's have a look at the weeklies. We still haven't hit this weekly level down here. And we have a strong resistance level up there. I might get rid of my wash levels now, to be honest with you. I'm not crazy about them. I'll keep the monthlies. Daily, that's gone. That daily's gone. Depending on if today's a green day or not, there could be a daily level here, but this one's gone. See, it's washed, really washed. And then you've got one down there. Okay, what else have we got? Single prints. Let's kind of try and have a look at the single prints if my XO works. Hope it works. Oh, fuck. No, it's lagging, isn't it? Lag, lag, lag. Exo lag fest. I don't think that was a good idea. What the hell? Is that a good idea or not? Probably not. I probably shouldn't have done that. Oh, it's lagging. Don't know about that. All right, let me just see what I had before. They're much higher up. These are cleared, aren't they? Oh, I think I'm going to have to ignore the single prints. Yeah, this is... what the hell? Let me see if I can find some daily levels. That would be nice. Some NPOCs. Oh, yeah, there we have a few. That's nice. All right. We can do that. I'll put them in chat here. Naked daily points of control. 107980. 113040. 113880. Let me zoom out a little bit. We get some more. And you know, I've got those higher up. I think I've already got those. Just that after that drop, wasn't it? Let's go to weekly. No, come on. Loads. Don't do this to me. I'm live streaming. Why won't XO charts load? Let me refresh it. I think I need to install the desktop version for the next stream. There's one there. I think I've got that. Yeah, and I don't think there's anything with the monthly. Let's see if we can get out of here and then just have a look at the session data. Hey, Defage, how are you? Nice to see you. Welcome. I'm sure there's more viewers. It's just that my stream lagged out and the concurrent viewers here resets when that happens. It's so annoying. How can I tell? I think I have to go into my stream, see what it says. And quickly do that on my other screen. It says 2 watching now. It must be more. Because one of them is now me. I don't know why YouTube doesn't update properly. So annoying. All right, let's have a look at this session data. We're in the New York session now. It's looking quite bullish on New York session, but we're coming back to the point of control there. We're above the VWAP. Can't really tell. Go back to the imbalances. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, I can't see anything interesting here, to be honest with you. Some longs got trapped and now they're underwater. That's usually what happens, you know, when you get like this kind of fake breakouts and then people start longing and then they get trapped immediately because they're longing the breakout. You know, breakout traders usually always get trapped. Right, that's XO chart. I'll leave that for now because it's really laggy. I need to find a permanent fix for that. Right, so forget about the single prints. That's pointless. And then the last thing I'm going to kind of have a look at is the candles. I'm not crazy. Honestly, I'm not crazy bullish. Last week we had a piercing candle. This week we would have to have another green candle. Yeah. If we end with another green candle, that would be confirmation of a reversal. And right now you can see that we've taken the liquidity from the previous week highs and we've rejected. Yeah, you see that. And we need this week to end green. If it ends green, then we're looking at a reversal. If it doesn't end green, if it's red like that, then we're probably looking at continuation to the downside. Yeah. And so this candle, even though it's a piercing reversal candle, it needs another green candle to confirm the reversal. Otherwise, it becomes more of a bullish trap, a bull trap candle. Okay. And that's what we're kind of experiencing, right? A little bit of a bull trap, which is why we got the swing failure of the previous weeks. And then we had the rejection. Okay. The volume is actually decreasing, so that gives us some hope. But there's no reason why we don't take out these lows. Bam! Yeah. And hit that level, this big level down there. It's going to feel really bearish. It's going to feel extremely bearish, isn't it? If we get another finish red and then we get a drop like that. Bam. And then we need a reversal here, potentially to go back up. Kind of coming back down here. It's going to look really bearish. And then when you're going back up only to reject again, aren't you? You kind of that's what's happening. You're getting higher lower highs and lower lows just because of this SFP, this rejection here. That rejection was my trade, wasn't it? Which I talked about 2 weeks ago. There was that one. See? So we had that rejection and now we're getting we are in a kind of a little bit of an SR flip, but you see the way the candles here has washed that area. That's bearish. That's not bullish. We're not getting an immediate buy up. It's closed and then yeah. It's not bullish. That for me, that's quite bearish. I would have preferred the swing failure of those lows, and we didn't get one. So what am I saying? I'm saying I'm feeling bearish. Sorry. And so the only other thing I'm going to do now is just some fibs. Yeah, we've come like that 236 level has been washed. We're bouncing for that 382 once. Could we get another bounce? $96, such a big level, huh? 96. It's the 50 fib. Yeah, we're probably heading to 96, guys. Probably, yeah. 96. Shit. And what I'm actually seeing here is a real nice V. And usually with these V-shaped recoveries, you get this kind of down, 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 down until the 50 fib, which is 96, where you have this higher time frame point in control lined up with the 50 fib. Yeah, that's your V-shaped recovery. See that? You've got this higher time frame V. Let me pull it up for you so you can see. I'll put it on the screen here, so and then I'll put it across when I find it. It's a pattern, isn't it? So I'm looking at a V-shaped recovery pattern. And there's never any good data on it, but there's two types of V-shaped recoveries. There's never any good data on it, is there? Let's have a look at this one. Sorry, I've gone quiet because I'm just trying to find something that you guys can see. I'll do another search. VK reshape recovery consolidation. Fuck, I can't find anything. Right. I should create one. I should create one. Because I can't find what I want to find, but I know it's true on this pattern. I guess not many people know much about V-shaped recoveries, or the classic one, that people know is this, where you have, I'll show you. Get rid of this. Just hide these for a second. Fib retracement. Let's just get rid of that volume. Let's get rid of this volume as well, because I don't think it's kind of a bit of a distraction, isn't it? So look, this is the one that people know, huh? There's a V. Yeah, that's your V, and that's your neckline test. See that? That's the one that people know. So you have your V, you have the extension, and your entry is the neckline of the V, and that's your V, and that's what's just happened. Okay, that's your classic V-shaped recovery. And then you have another V. Now the other V that you have is slightly different. And let me see if I can find it. Here you have another V. See that? So that's your V, extension, neckline, and then your explosive move, all right? On a higher time frame. The other type of V is when you have a V and you just have this kind of bull flag. Can't find it here. Let's go to a slightly lower time frame. See, I don't know if Bitcoin does that very often, which makes me a little bit more concerned about whether it's valid or not. Not 100%. But effectively, there is a trade to be had. And it's kind of like this. In this context, it would be like this. And actually, I'm not sure because that might have been it. But then it should go down to 50%. And here it doesn't. Because when I'm looking at this fib, it only went to the 236. It's not really nice. So in this context, it's usually the V is taking out the previous high. So we took out the previous high, but maybe, and it's the other thing you have to be careful is you don't want to reach. You don't try and make, just because we're at the all-time highs. Should we be bearish now? Yeah, you should always be bearish at the all-time highs, but also we know that there's Bitcoin has a potential to continue, yeah, until we lose some kind of higher time frame market structure. So you're kind of in two minds, and if it continues, it can continue it can keep on going, huh? And that's the other problem, huh? Look at this trend line. Look at it. And there's kind of washes there, but we could break down though. We could break down. You break down from this bull market trend line for a final push, for a final attack of those highs. And then that would be the peak. I'm just wondering if we had that to that, and then we have something like this for 96 entry for a final attack of the highs. I'm not sure. But hey, look, so it could be a fake out. Well, I don't want to spend too long on this, but I am wondering if we're kind of flagging here a little bit for a drop down to take these lows, for another bounce, for another drop like that. And then once you hit your 96 for a pump, for a mega pump. Maybe I'm just making this shit up, to be honest with you. Maybe like this, and then break out like that to take out those highs beginning of next year. For a really nice 96k entry. Which is kind of what I'm thinking, like that. Big level right here at 96. 96 actually is higher than 96, slightly under 97. Probably slightly under 97. I honestly think you get a reaction there, that would be a really nice long. And even though everyone's getting like crazy bearish, bear markets, maybe it has, who knows? It would still be a nice long, wouldn't it? Because but the entry would be You'd be looking for a swing failure here. Who knows, huh? No one really knows. I'm going to set an alert. Where's my alert box? Fuck. My alert box isn't working. What the hell? Add alert. Why can't I add an alert? I can't add an alert. I literally can't add an alert. Let's try that again. SFP should be white. Come on. My alerts aren't working. Fuck. Alright. Anyway, you get the idea. And that's slightly higher time frame, isn't it? But I think that would be quite a good place if you get a nice bounce there at 97k with a swing failure of that local low. People get really bearish, trap shorts, really nice reaction, and a pump. And actually, it's hard to know how it would pump because ideally that's where you want a V-shaped recovery, and then you want a reclaim of this high volume node like that. And then you want to break. It will look like a bull flag like that, and then you want to break it just to go for the all-time highs. That's slightly higher time frame, isn't it? No one really knows how that's going to play out. Something like that. And then kind of shorter, slower time frame. As long as we don't capture this level here at 111, it's going to be bearish, huh? And so let's just kind of add this to so really what we want to do here is reclaim this daily level, which is a wash level, but we need to reclaim this high volume node. Okay, and it has to be a convincing reclaim, which we're not seeing at the moment. So it's feeling quite bullish right now, but we're not seeing it. And so effectively what you want to see, you want to see the level holder support, which we're not seeing right now. If you see that, then actually you're reclaiming a level. You can see in the past that it held now. You see here, that was the reclaim. See that? So what you want is something similar to this, where you kind of go up it and then you hold it as support and flip it back into support until you see something like that. It's resistance, isn't it? That kind of area is a little bit of a resistance. So at the moment we're kind of grinding up, but it's a little bit resistant. And you do have some kind of trend lines going here. See, that's a really nice trend line. If that breaks, then we're going down to my area, really, 96, 97, 97. And you got another one here of these highs. Wow, look at that. Bam. So we had a real nice bounce there. That's what we're experiencing. See that? Look at that perfect X of that trend line, of this trend line. That was the bounce, and that's it. And so you've got your bounce, and that's it. It's really kind of shit, isn't it? It's not like an area like that, off these lows. That's your trade. You needed a rocket ship. You needed a V-shaped recovery. That would be really bullish. But that's it. It's done. And you're finding resistance now. And then it's going to start looking, you're testing, you're hitting this line again. You lose that line. And then you're going down, aren't you? And actually now this outer trend line is the line of safety. Yeah, so you draw an outer trend line. What you want to see for confirmation of safe longing is the price to get back above break and come, and that's kind of where you want to long, isn't it? Like that. Otherwise, we're kind of into resistance now, and it's not looking good, huh? It's not looking bullish at all. I think once you lose this trend line, you're going to start seeing a lot more shorts enter the market. This one. You lose that, you're going to start see a lot of people shorting the lows, and they're just going to start short. The shorts are going to crazy pile in. Now would be a good kind of place to short, but where do you put your stop? That's the problem. So here you see the reason why it's grinding up. People are shorting, and the shorts are getting liquidated. That's why it's grinding up, because shorts are going, but they're having tight stops, and they're getting liquidated and liquidated. That's why it's kind of going up like that. So, but really, this is looking quite bearish. Once you get a reversal candle here, you could probably short the candle with a stop above the local high. Once you have a local high pivot put in, you kind of need a reversal candle here, and then you're targeting first that high volume node, maybe first these lows, your first target. But if you lose it, then it's going to kind of start dropping, then you're probably targeting all the way down. And it's never going to go in a straight line. So even if you get a reaction, you'll get a reaction. You get a reaction, until you kind of start either bottoming, or you keep on losing levels until you hit your big level at 97k. Yeah. And so let's just have a look at the weekly time frame. Yeah, I'm not crazy about what's this price action now. I'm not crazy bullish, that's what I mean. And yesterday closed lower, took out the lows. We've got the first reaction and putting in a lower high. It's feeling quite bearish. Actually, it's feeling quite bearish. So that's just kind of a word of warning for Bitcoin. It's feeling quite bearish. You kind of need to see strength before you can long. Otherwise, right now, I'm feeling a little bit bearish. Let's see what happens. And it's always possible to short every swing failure, right? I'm sorry, long every swing failure. But the thing about those longs is that they're scalps. You long, you take profit quickly. You can long these swing failures, but then you have to quickly take profit. They're not like trade like swing longs until you hit big levels. So there is a big level at 100k, slightly above 100k. So you could get a really nice reaction from 100 to 101k, because you have a daily level, a weekly level, you have that psychological 100k level. And so, yeah, you could quite easily get a really nice long trade. But, again, you have to kind of think, you get a nice reaction, but then you still have to take profit at the first kind of sign of resistance, which is the local high that's put in, because the reality is that's where traders will take their profit. And then if you're still in a position, you're not taking profit, and then you could lose the position because the longs will start taking profit, and then people will start shorting at those, and it becomes, and so then you have a pylon of shorts. People who see the drop, they'll be feeling bearish, even though they get the bounce. They'll be feeling bearish, and then you get longs take profit, you get shorts enter, and then you get the continued push. Does that make sense? Who knows? Not financial advice, speculation only, entertainment value. But at the moment, it's always the same. You short weakness, you long strength. Yeah. So until you start seeing strength, you're shorting weakness. And usually the best entries are swing failures or taking out previous highs or previous lows. You have to take profit. You have to use correct risk management. Okay. And today is the October the 31st. Let's have a look at the monthly candle as well. Yeah, it's bearish as fuck, huh? That's a bearish. That's a bearish. That's a bearish. Bearish. That's looking, for me, that's looking really bearish. High volume, increasing volume, swing failure of the all-time high. It's not looking bullish, is it? It's a bearish monthly candle. Let's have a look at the 3 monthly. Yeah, it's looking bearish. 6 monthly, looking bearish. 12 monthly. This is going to be a real test, this 12 monthly candle, by the end of the year to see if it closes higher or not. But again, we're possibly looking for an unholy reversal on the higher time frame here. So it's actually looking quite bearish. Look at that, increasing volume, and we're seeing red. Increasing volume at all-time highs. That's really bearish on this monthly candle. So just kind of bear that in mind. Yeah. Does that mean your altcoins are going to crash? Yeah, it's possible. Well, coins always struggle when Bitcoin is rejecting. Yeah. Some altcoins are still fucking low though, and that's the question. What happens to the altcoins that are really low? No one knows. I think usually in bear markets, real world altcoins, real world projects which have real fundamental value, which keep on building, keep on growing, they're the ones that continue to do well, even though they're low. That's like the discount price of a lifetime, the accumulation of a lifetime. So you want to be out of your meme coins for sure. You want to be out of your speculative coins, which have pumped ridiculously high and you're in healthy, but you want to be out of those. But then you want to be accumulating the real world projects, the projects that are actually building real world applications behind continuously, the proper projects. Those are the ones that you want to kind of be focused on, because that's kind of the opportunity of the lifetime to accumulate those businesses. They're businesses, aren't they? They're not really shit coins. They're businesses which are trying to develop token-based economies based on their real world application. Those are the 2 tokens I'm going to be looking at in a second. Let's quickly have a look at Bitcoin dominance and see what's... It's a tricky one, Bitcoin dominance. One final push up. Before we see a little bit of an alt season. I don't know. Let's have a look at ETH alt, ETH BTC. I've lost it. Oh my god, my eyes fail me. Oh, ETH BTC is giving up the ghoster. Let's just update the volume on ETH BTC. I'm looking at the weekly time frame. We still have to hold. I mean, we're still above the point of control. That's the all-time point of control. That's probably going to be where altcoins hold, huh? Here, because it's the 382. It'll probably be a good place to long, to be honest with you, on your altcoins. To get a swing failure of that level there. It's a kind of a bit of a region, but bounce. Can I add an alert? My alert's working. Nah. What the hell? So annoying. That's probably a good place for altcoins to pick up again. Back into there. But I mean, in all honesty, the buy of the lifetime here is the golden pocket. That's kind of why I have it marked. Because really, if you get a nice big fucking drop there, that's when everything, that's when I'd be looking for alt season, with the real alt season to begin. Some alts could go to really low prices just in that moment if we do get a crash. And maybe that's what we need, a little bit of a crash, a little bit of a crazy crash. A massive liquidation event. And so going back to Bitcoin quickly, I'm talking about really, because right now I'm talking about, look, this is what I'm talking about. Gentle descent. Well, what if we just get a big drop to 96? Let's just say we get one big kind of drop. Another big drop to 96. Bam. Shh. Bounce. It usually overshoots, doesn't it? What, another one of these drop candles, like this one, like that candle. What if we get a drop, bam, all the way down to take out these lows here? Another one of those drops, then we'll get another consolidation. And then what you're looking at is actually, you're looking for the price. It's aiming for these lows here, isn't it? For another test of 74k, really that's where the price is trying to get to. And then what you're looking at on the higher time frame, yeah, is a fucking gigantic head and shoulders pattern. Psh, that's what you'll be looking at. Maybe we're heading down to, realistically, maybe we're heading down to here. This is where it begins. And so I'll be interested to see if we get another crazy drop. And so while I've got this price action, which kind of feels still quite bullish, a gentle kind of down, 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 and then it kind of bounce up. But that's like, it's really quite bullish. Maybe we get another sell, a big dump, big liquidation event. And then that would correlate with ETH BTC. I'm looking for, like, obviously we're going to get a little bit of support here, and then maybe all the way down to the golden pocket. And actually the golden pocket is going to be your buy of a lifetime here. Like, if you've got reserve funds on ETH BTC, once you get ETH BTC into the golden pocket, that's when you're actually looking to pick up all your altcoins. I'm still thinking about the golden pocket. Yeah. and it'll feel really bearish. You'll be like, how can I do this? This is crazy. But that's the opportunity, isn't it? I have to see what happens. And then in that case, if you get those kind of big dumps, your Bitcoin dominance could go up, could really rally up again, right? Pushing up again to the golden pocket. Yeah. It's already hit it once. Maybe another attack at the golden pocket. Huh? Let's have a look. Let's see what happens. Just I don't know what to say. No, not financial advice, but if you're in a project and it's not a shitty meme coin and it's got long-term real-world value, those big dips are buying opportunities. They're not. It's not moments. It's not the right time to. You don't sell at the lows. You know, you accumulate. That's what this is, accumulation. Now, I've been tracking QANX. QANX is kind of going sideways, isn't it? It's kind of really boring. We get pumps, we get dumps, we get pumps, we get pumps. Remember on the weekly time frame, or what I was talking about last week was, let's get a weekly close above for a piercing candle. Nice, we got that. That was really nice, wasn't it? And so if you were watching my stream last week, I think most people who are following QANX do kind of keep an eye on my weekly streams. And that was a really nice bullish candle. And what do we get after that? We got just a buy up. We went up another 14%. Huh? So if you're not following me, you should be. Why not? I do a weekly QANX update. I'm not involved in the project. I have a little bit of QANX just because I think quantum resistant future is the way ahead. I'm dreaming of the day in the future that someone cracks Bitcoin and the legacy Satoshi wallet gets hacked and 1.1 million Bitcoin gets dumped into crypto, and then all of that value gets transferred onto QANX, all of it, and we all become multi-millionaires instantly. How cool will that be? And then everyone gives me a really nice tip on my YouTube channel. That would be really nice. What was I looking at before? Weekly close. We need a kind of. Let me just have a look at this previous. I'm just trying to remember what I said. Let me zoom back in. Did I have some analysis? Oh, I didn't. Did I save it? Oh, we're still there, aren't we? Shit. Gotta delete some of this stuff. Go back here. Let me just see what I was looking at. We kind of got it, huh? But I kind of draw it further on the line, but we're going to get a little bounce there. See that? We were kind of getting it, weren't we? In this point of control. It's kind of happening, huh? It was there, wasn't it? And then it kind of did it. It was a really short stream, so there wasn't much to look at. Alright, let me just update the volume quickly, as I always do. QANX kind of gets boring, doesn't it? Because it's like there's not enough volume to make any significant changes to the analysis, and so there's nothing to report on. I would have just turned the music up here. It's so annoying. When I speak, you're probably going to hear a little bit of background music. If you didn't know, I'm in Bogota. I'm in Colombia. I'm in a cheap 4-star hotel. It's really loud auditorium here. I'm traveling to the Putumayo in the Amazon jungle on Monday. We're going to spend 6 nights in the Amazon, and wish me luck trying to avoid mosquito bites and gigantic ants. Well, let's get rid of that. So we're putting in lower highs and lower lows. Yeah, it's just here the market structure is bearish. It's not bullish. And you see, every time we go up, we're still putting in lower highs. We haven't got enough buy volume to take out the previous high. And just bear that in mind. And while right now we're looking at a green weekly candle, it's Friday. We don't know what's going to happen over the weekend. If we get a little more sell pressure, that green candle could end up with a red candle. Then with these weekly piercing candles, they're the potential of a bullish reversal. We've got the kind of first buy up. Now we're getting the take profit, the sell off, and it needs to be green. This one needs to be green. If it's not green, we're not looking at a reversal. Yeah, if it goes red, then we're probably going for more downside, right? So that's just kind of the weekly candles. Let's have a look at the monthly candle as well. Honestly, I don't mind the monthly candle, yeah, but we have to see how it closes. It looks okay. When I say it looks okay, I mean it doesn't look so as bearish as it could, because potentially we have to see how it closes by tonight. If we close above the previous month low, we've got a massive buying tail. It's a kind of like it's like a doji, doesn't it? Slightly increasing volume, but the price is still holding. The only thing I would say is that even though I think it's quite bullish, because we're taking this previous month low, and we're potentially closing higher. We are washing this point of control. This point of control is not holding a support. So if there's anyone looking to enter the point of control there, the price is going well through it to capture lower liquidity. And that means that every time it pushes lower and lower, lower, it's going for lower prices, pushing. And so ideally what you want is enough buy liquidity at the point of control that the price can't go through it. And that's when you get the kind of backtest support hold. We're not getting that at the moment. And so let's just say, for the sake of argument, this month closes roughly like this, it closes higher than the previous month low, which is good. You've got this really strong buying tail, and this is like a doji. Let's just assume it. I don't know. If it closes lower, that's bad. If it closes higher than previous month low, that's good. But you could still see a reversal, and the reversal could still go all the way down, targeting the bottom of the previous month, i.e. this month, just to get a wick, a reversal in the wick there, or another doji of sorts, or something to indicate that we could still be messing around in this buying tail for another month after this candle prints. So I don't necessarily expect us to just print a candle like that and then just go straight up. It could happen, but I don't expect it. And it's more likely than not we still go down to test the lows. And we just have to see how this weekly candle, like right now, it's not looking bullish, is it? Even though we want it to be green, but let's just see how this closes. I can't tell. That's a really bearish reversal here yesterday. And now you're getting the continuation. So we're forming some reversals here with a lower high, which is quite bearish. And so again, what you want to see, if possible, is the point of control to hold the support. Yeah. So it looks like we're just kind of messing around here, doesn't it? Again, as always, QANX goes sideways, is really quite boring. Look at these 6 monthly candles. I mean, it's see this yearly time frame candle at the moment is looking quite bearish, and I don't know how this is going to end. Let's just say, for the sake of arguments, it's red like this. The next one could go up, and if you get your mainnet, that will be the sell the news event, the mainnet launch, and it depends on how it coincides with the rest of Bitcoin and crypto. But this is the problem. The problem is that with all of the mainnet anticipation, everything's taking a long time. Everyone's lost patience. The mainnet will be the sell the news. Honestly, like however this plays out, even if people are like really ultra bullish on quantum computing, it doesn't really matter when the mainnet comes out. The reality is a lot of people have been stuck on this project, waiting for higher prices. They haven't got it. They've watched a lot of other cryptos, like even ETH and other cryptos do really well. Bitcoin do really well, and they're kind of here waiting. And I guess you could argue that QANX should have released their mainnet much sooner. It should have. Timing is everything, and if Quant platform can't release their mainnet, if they release it by the end of the bull market, that's going to be the biggest sell the news event, probably. And again, I am hoping for all-time highs at 20 cents. And you could get that. You could get, like, let's imagine mainnet launches next month. Get the one spike, bam, that's your big sell. And everyone sells, huh? Everyone's in profit, everyone sells. And then you get a really bearish rejection on the mainnet launch. And then it's a danger. It's a danger. And I think it's still a good buy in the bear market. Yeah. But that would be an accumulation. It won't be like, you're not going to get people buy the dip in a bear market. You're going to get people accumulate in the bear market. It'll be like a weekly accumulation or a weekly red candle accumulation. So the reality is, as time passes, it's just a reality. I'm not bearish. I'm higher time frame bullish, but I'm just being honest. The reality is, as time passes and as people keep on patiently or impatiently waiting for the mainnet, and as it takes time, then as Bitcoin keeps on starts to show bearish signs and bearish reversals at the all-time highs, and people get more and more antsy, more and more impatient, and then when you do get that final sell the news event like a mainnet launch, people sell. At least they sell half, and that's the problem. You get this crazy sell pressure into the mainnet pump, yeah. And I've already told people I will be selling in the mainnet launch. I will look to sell at least half, at least to kind of go risk free, to eliminate the risk, because you don't want to get caught in that mainnet event thinking $1, $2, whatever. You don't want to be caught out of position, but at the same time, you don't want to be caught in a sell the news event, and then you get that kind of one big spike, rejection, and then you're actually looking to go down in a bear market. That's the danger. It's a real danger. And so I don't think, like, these people, they're not really fussed about token price, are they? They're just building. Let's see what they say now. Apply to be a member of our closed testing group and be among the first to try. Yeah, I don't know. It's all good stuff, but it doesn't give you the vibes that we're about to go mainstream, does it? When you're still kind of, it's a closed testing group. It's not like a public test. It's a closed test. So we're still looking at higher time frame, and these are application forms. This kind of stuff takes time. Yeah. So the reality is, with like Quant platform and QANX, I'm not bearish, but I just think this is a higher time frame play, an accumulation play. What do? Do you buy, sell? Do you trade, or do you just keep on buying, or just wait for the crazy dips? I mean, no one really has the answer. I don't. I don't have the answer. So we're all waiting for the mainnet, huh? 27th of October. What's this? This is quite interesting. What's this one? Google's Willow delivered the first verifiable quantum advantage solving problems 13,000x faster than supercomputers with breakthrough error correction. It can, for example, compute the structure of a molecule and paves a path towards real-world applications. This signals quantum acceleration is happening faster than most timelines predicted. The enterprise reality check. About 25% of Bitcoin, around $500 billion, is vulnerable to quantum attacks from exposed public keys. The timeline just compressed. NIST experts predicted quantum threats by 2030. See, 3035. We're still a way away. Really, what people want to read is the mainnet is coming tomorrow. Isn't it? Like, this is happening. Not wait until 2025, 2020, sorry, 2030, 2035. So we are looking at a project which has real world application, but we are looking at a project which you just have to buy and forget, buy and accumulate, or wait for the mainnet. I hope it comes sooner. And as time passes, you see, as time passes, like right now, what I'm looking at is a bearish harmonic. That's on the monthly time frame. Assuming we hold that pivot low, assuming the mainnet comes out, and we, you know, in that situation, depending on the sell pressure, you might not even get all-time highs, which is really what a project like this needs. Look at these harmonics. A butterfly, look, it looks kind of, if it happened now and we get a push up like now, bam, 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 that would be bearish. Look, it would be like this, wouldn't it? If the mainnet was launched and we get a buy, some crazy buying, it wouldn't be buy for continuation, it would be sell. And is in this, if it happened tomorrow, it'd be a butterfly. Look at that, that's a shark. A shark would require us taking out this low, like that. I don't really like it. I prefer what I had before. So, and then it doesn't have to be a butterfly, it could be a bat. And it would be like, oh fuck, it just went up to take out those highs. I couldn't take out those highs, and that's because the sell pressure would be too much. And then I think a lot of people will be like, oh my God, what just happened? And then that's assuming the mainnet launches and we go up. What if actually, like I said, what if actually we're doing this? It'd still be the same. It would still be bearish. It would just be a take the low liquidity event. Take out those for a different kind of W. Yeah, we hide that one. Look, it'll be a different kind of W. See it? Which pivot do you take? Who knows? Maybe that one. Take out the lows. Who knows how far that would reach, but again, where's my image? Again, it's bearish. It's not bullish, is it? It'd be like this one. See, a cipher. Actually, a cipher wouldn't extend. It would be a cipher again, a cipher or shark. In this case, it would be a shark if it went up, and if it was lower, it would be like this one. as this one, a cipher. Still bearish, huh? So whatever happens with the next crazy pump, we're forming bearish harmonics at the last point, the D point. And whether it happens, like I said, whether it happens like that, like let's say the mainnet launched tomorrow and we had a pump, it'd be bearish. It'd be a bearish pump. Or if we went lower, took out those lows for another pump, it'd still be bearish. You're going to get bearish. We're forming bearish harmonics. Yeah. Great opportunity to long. And actually longing the C point of a harmonic is the best long. So I'm not saying sell. I'm actually saying buy. Because the C is actually the opportunity. That's your best long because you're going from a C to D. That's the most, because you can see the harmonic forming. So whether you go from a C to D, or whether you go like that from a C to D, or whether you go from like that to a C to D, that's your trade, isn't it? That's your expansive move, 500% on that one. Or if we go lower, take out those lows, 200%, whatever. If it goes higher, 400%, like that one. But again, the problem is now you're forming a bearish harmonic, and that becomes, the D becomes your endpoint in a bearish harmonic, and it becomes, you back that, you put that, you tie that to a sell the news event like the mainnet. It's a sell, it's not a buy. Yeah. And the only way the only caveat is a God candle with crazy volume where you just fucking go up and close. It changes everything. It would be like, bam. It'd be like one candle. That's the only caveat. Yeah. And it just means that people sold. It's one candle. People sold, but you still closed higher and the volume was crazy. It doesn't mean you can't drop down, but that gives you the room and the space to fall back down, to find support where people sell the high and actually start to accumulate back in. And the only caveat, because that's not a bearish harmonic now. If you go in a God candle up in one candle, you've broken it. You've broken the bearish harmonic. Now you're looking at something completely different. Yeah. And so we just have to look out for what happens next, and no one knows what's going to happen next. And timing is really important. And we have to see how much volume comes in on a mainnet news release, and no one really knows. Okay, I guess the team at QANX know. I have no idea. I'm going to go to the Quan platform page, as I do. I'll bring it on my stream. See if we have any insights. We could very likely see an announcement next week or in 2 weeks, just as likely as the end of November. We know they are close. They want this completed as much as we do have faith. It could literally be any day. That's what Quantum Chicken says. Don't see anything recent. That's the Quant platform. Let's go to the trading platform. This is a trading page. You should all join it, because you can say what you want. That's where I post my links. And always like my links. Why not? Link it, share it, retweet it. $100 tomorrow. What the fuck? Could he be the next Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs? Who knows? He looks like him. See what this guy says. Numbers are more than reasonable. You can debate timeline, but it's not likely. It's not like he's saying tomorrow 1.7 billion market cap is not that crazy at some point next year. Do you need fantastic market conditions and Quan to deliver mainnet sooner rather than later? Yes, but it's not like it's so outlandish to warrant your behavior. Anyway, conversations, people have different opinions. I'm a technical. I focus on the technicals. I look at the fundamentals too. I like technicals. With like these low market cap tokens with relatively low liquidity and low volume, technicals are mostly speculative, always entertainment, and never financial advice. Yeah, that's the truth. I like these 3 month candles, to be honest with you. I really do. I like them. I think we're getting a lot of selling and the price is holding. It means we're getting accumulation while the rest of the altcoin market has been dropping. Quan platform, QANX is being heavily accumulated. So no one really knows what's going to happen. Could IBM be secretly buying? Could these other big players be secretly buying? Yeah. And you don't know if it's happening because the volume is low. You're not getting those crazy volume spikes. It's just continuous accumulation. So don't get shook out when you get volatile price movements. With this kind of token, it's about higher time frame accumulation, not financial advice. But that's what it is. Or just buy and hold and forget about it. Yeah. And even if you miss the exit on a harmonic that I'm talking about, the highs, whatever, does it matter? Quantum computing is real. The threat is real. The timeline is real. And the reality is that based on this higher time frame accumulation, we could be looking at, let's just say for the sake of argument, you're looking at, I look at higher time frame candles, don't I? You could be looking at, look at it, just look at it like that. Zoom out. Look at it. This yearly candle is actually really bullish. That's a piercing. That's your shit. That's your piercing. That's your green. That's the pullback. Next year could be a fucking green candle like that. Bam. You could be at, oh shit, maybe not 18,000, but $2-3. Yeah, why not? You could. Look at that. That's how you view it. That's how I view candles. Increasing volume. That's your pullback. The next candle could be big and you could be trading at $4-5 next year. Yeah. It's possible. And while the rest of the market is kind of going sideways or down and Bitcoin is probably dropping and finding support, with quantum computing news, with quantum computing becoming mainstream, quantum chips being, this could really start. So whenever you're trading, definitely don't go all in and all out. Like, take profit. And that's the lesson, isn't it? Or de-risk. And the way to de-risk is, like I said, just exit your investment and let the rest run. And then if you get the pullbacks, you can reaccumulate because you're still higher time frame bullish, aren't you? And that's kind of where we're at. Ideally, what you want is once it breaks, I think a lot of people are going to pile in, aren't they? That's what we're looking for, is a trend line break. Go with that. We need that outer trend line to break. This one. That one. We can break that trend line. Back test and up. And then let's pump. Right. All right, that's it's Con platform. QANX. I hope that helps. If you like my stream, appreciate a like or retweet or whatever, comment, and tell me what you think in the comments below the video or below my X page. If you're not following me on YouTube, I'd appreciate your support. I'm so close to getting to 1,000 subscribers. I guess half of my subscribers are Quan platform maximalists. Who knows? But yeah, I appreciate you as always. It's all entertainment, isn't it? All right. I'm going to do Dtravel TRVL. I'm gonna do that, and then I'll finish off the stream. What time is it? 11:42. I've been streaming for a while, huh? Let's just quickly have a look at Bitcoin before I go on to Dtravel. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, look at that. I said it was like a little bit bearish, huh? It's dropping. Okay, yeah. Maybe I'm gonna do TRV. I'm just gonna pop to the toilet, have a little loo break, and I'll come right back straight into Dtravel and TRVL. I'll kind of pull it up on the street. We're back in like 2 minutes, sir. Don't go anywhere. Only 2 minutes. I really need to go to the toilet. Right? Hope no one jumps onto my computer. If they do, also we'll have them on camera. I'll put it here. Should I do it like that? No. Do all that. You can see their hotel auditorium. If anyone comes to my camera, though, you'll have them. We'll caught them red-handed. All right. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Did anyone hack my computer while I was away? That's the question. No? Yes? All right. TRVL. Let's have a look at TRVL. So, or should I say, let's have a look at Dtravel. Huh? We can look at TRVL, we can look at Dtravel. Let's have a look at Dtravel. I'm here in Bogota. And if you follow me on my X page, actually, let me go to my X page. I do post some things sometimes. This is it. My next live stream will be from Bogota, 11 a.m. local time today, Friday, the 31st of October. That's Halloween. And this is me at the airport lounge in San Salvador. I flew yesterday, arrived at Bogota. And so a lot of people might be asking me, or maybe not. Maybe people aren't asking me, but they are. People are asking me, what are you doing in Colombia? What's happening? Is Dtravel in Colombia? Yes, I'm wearing the hat. That means Dtravel is here in Bogota, in Colombia. Wherever I go, Dtravel goes. Not just me, but there's other people traveling like Andrea and James and Eric and everyone else who is representing Dtravel. And what am I doing here? So basically, I'm going into the Amazon. Next Monday, I'm kind of traveling to the Amazon jungle. Where am I going in the jungle? Let's kind of pull it up. Oh, my internet's a bit shit right now, so I hope the stream doesn't disconnect. No, I don't think it will. So where am I now? Let's have a look. Usually you see a blue dot, but I can't see one right now. There it is. There's a blue dot. So this is who I am. The infamous blue dot. Right, I'm going to try and load up another page here so I can post some pictures. Zoom out. Oh, what am I doing? So this is where I'm in Bogota in Colombia. That's right next to Venezuela. And I was in San Salvador here. We flew to Bogota and I'm going to the Putumayo. So where is the Putumayo? Does it show you? It's a region here in the Amazon jungle. But it doesn't actually, it's not labeled, is it? Let me put it here. Putumayo. Maya. I don't know how to pronounce it, by the way. There you go. That's the Putumayo. So it's not down here, it's up here. See that? I thought it was down there. So we're kind of on the border of Ecuador and Peru. Let me... Quick facts. The it says Mayo. See, I spelled it wrong, so I have no idea. It's a department of southern Colombia. It's in the southwest of the country, bordering Ecuador and Peru. Its capital is Macao. The word Putumayo comes from the Quechua languages. The verb putuy means to spring forth or to burst out, and mayo means river. Thus, it means the gushing river. Let's have a look at the satellite. Parc Nacional. Natural La Playa. You'd like to think I did my research before I decided to go here, huh? No research done whatsoever. It was like, let's go. Actually, I'm going to You can think I'm a bit crazy, yeah, but I'm going to some ayahuasca ceremonies in the Amazon jungle, and I'm also going to be helping to cook the medicine. They call it medicina, la medicina. I'm going to be helping to chop down the plants. I'm going to be cooking the medicine. There's lots of tribal stuff. I have no idea where I'm going, to be honest with you. I'm kind of going with a group of people, and I hope I come back alive. But really, the biggest danger isn't the ayahuasca ceremonies. It's the mosquitoes and the gigantic ants and everything else lurking in the area. All right, let's go to the... Is that satellite terrain? Yeah. What I want, that's why I want satellite. So you can see it's all forest, huh? It's all, this is the Amazon. So the Amazon's quite big. See that? All that green stuff is Amazon. And this is kind of the edge of the Amazon. All right, it'll be fun. So let me just read off my... Let me read my schedule. Huh? Right, so I'm kind of going slow. My Dtravel stream has become my itinerary of what I'm doing next week. So we leave Bogota and we head to Puerto Leguizamo. Let me just put that here. I've lost it. Leguizamo. There. There it is. That's where we end up here. So that airport there, see that? Looks like a little town. That's it. Cacaya Airport. Okay. And then we continue our journey toward the indigenous reserves. I don't know where. And we'll be meeting the Quechua tribe and the Murui tribe. The Quechua tribe. Let me put that in. The Quechua tribe. So Dtravel is going to meet the Quechua tribe. I'll be wearing my Dtravel. That doesn't even have it. Anyway, I don't know where. I really don't know. All right, whatever. All right, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of exploring the Amazon. You'll think, what use has Dtravel in the Amazon jungle? Well, Dtravel is about decentralized travel, isn't it? And it's not just like, this is the thing. In the future, what we're trying to create, what we're trying to build, isn't really about what is out there and what's being pushed out there by centralized entities. Is what people can provide themselves. That's what we're trying to create, a platform where people can provide those decentralized travel experiences. And so right now, when you're looking at Dtravel, yeah, what do you see? You see an application, peer-to-peer vacation rentals. So it kind of looks like an Airbnb without Airbnb, yeah? And what I've been doing, as I've been telling people, is like I've been trying to onboard listings in El Salvador and fill our network. And look, right now, when you look at El Salvador, we've got 14 results. And like a couple of months ago, we had 0. We have 5 properties in El Salvador, where before we had 0. Yeah. So that's kind of one part of what we're trying to do is just continuously grow the network. And I keep on talking about the Dune analytics, and that's just showing you our growth as a real world application, which is like Airbnb without Airbnb. Yeah. And we know this works. This business model works. I've talked about it in the past. I've talked about my experiences with Dtravel. I've talked about my Airbnb listings, and nothing's really changed. Yeah. I'm not here to tell you anything different. It works. This application works. And if people are curious as to whether this is still working or not, just go to our Telegram. Yeah. Have a look at our general channel, and oh, look at this. Oh my God. New booking site activated. See, this is onboarding. Oh my God. Someone's just onboarded. I'm going to have a look at that in a second. Look, new booking process. New booking process. This is real bookings. So here, the Howell family properties just processed the direct booking, and you can see the links to their properties. Here. This is another one. New booking process. This looks like it could be in Brazil. That's me. New booking process. It's working. You can see that it's working. You can see it's not just the same properties. It's properties from all over the world, and different places are processing direct bookings using the Dtravel network. It's working. We know it's working. We can see. You can see for yourself. This is all live data, and while it's not exponential, explosive growth yet, we know it works. Yeah. And Dtravel is generating revenue for Dtravel in multiple ways, and one of the ways is the bookings that are being processed. And so here you can see we have now 5,854 listings. We have 10,870 operator signups. This is hosts and operators who have signed up, not necessarily live, but signed up to maybe be live. This is our cumulative growth and average booking value. You can see that we're in 1,273 cities, still 140 countries. And so we're just growing. We're kind of gently growing. The real world application was the hardest part of what we had to create. And if you go to the Traveler app, you can see that. Here I'm just showing San Salvador, but there's a lot of room for growth here. And in the Telegram channel, I think it was Kitty Commie or someone like that, they were talking about Airbnb having 8 million and Airbnb growing and growing and growing, and Dtravel really not growing. And ultimately, you know, we're in that kind of grind stage. We're in that first part of building that application and building the business, where you're going to get dribs and drabs. You're not going to, like I was explaining in Telegram, you're going to get dribs and drabs. We're not in that exponential growth stage. And so what we've been doing is we've been building a real world application and proving it, testing it, upgrading it, making sure it works, eliminating all the bugs. And that continues. That work never stops. Yeah. Because there's always things to improve, right? That's just what's going on. And that's behind the scenes work. And most of that work is kind of unseen. The other thing that we've been doing recently is we launched on Base. And I just want to try and find the link. Hold on. Because I have the link here somewhere. So I tried to show this on my phone. I don't know how successful that was. And now I'm going to try and show it to you on the web. This is it. Can you see it? Let me just check to make sure you can see it. So this is the mini app on Dtravel. This is what it looks like on the web. And again, this is what people will see on their phone in the mini app on Base. And so I've tried to show you that. Let me just go to my Base app now on my phone. explore mini apps. And so I'll kind of bring it to my big screen now. It looks like that. See, explore mini apps, and I'll search for Dtravel. You see, Dtravel comes up as my recent app. When I click on it, see, it's kind of the same look. See that? So it looks as the same as this. And so this is the web app of the mini app on base, and it's basically showing you that we have an application, but this is the future. This is like applications within the base wallet or other wallets, rather than independent applications, standalone applications. And again, if I do a search for El Salvador, you'll see here that it's working. Let me just kind of pull that and search. So this is what it's going to look like in your phone. I'm going to kind of do it on my phone here. It says 8 results. I don't know why it says 8 results. I'm going to search for it in my mini app. Okay, in the mini app, I can't actually select. I have to select a date, which I didn't do in the web version. So let me just apply the date. I'm doing that here. See that? So this is on my phone, and this is in the Coinbase app, and this is on the web. And from here, people can book. They can click on it, and this is the private country house at the beach. They can click on it. See that? And you can book this property. Let's check the availability, show the amenities. Let's try that. Let's try that. There you go. Crypto. No fees. Total. Complete booking. I haven't linked my wallet on this app, but if I go into if I do the same thing in the actual mini app in the base wallet, because it's connected to my base app with my wallet, then I can, assuming I have funds. So let me just click on reserve. Yeah, insufficient balance, and I'm not sure why. And this is kind of like I need to kind of. This is what I need to do, is I need to find out why on my base wallet it only says I can pay in TRVL, whereas in the application, maybe because I only have TRVL in my wallet. In the application, you see, I could click on all of these options. So I kind of have to figure that one out. I'm going to take a screenshot and send that back for feedback and see what they say, see what the people at Dtravel say. So here I could connect to wallet, sign in with Coinbase wallet, and then obviously you can connect with your MetaMask, etc. So this is kind of stuff that's happening, and so people don't see that. And of course, this isn't going to have an impact on the value of TRVL, but this is what we're doing. We're building, we're grinding and grinding. And eventually all the pieces are going to fit together. Eventually, what you're going to have is a complete package of everything that connected, and it's all going to make sense. And so this is one thing that the Dtravel team have been working on. I actually just received an email from Dtravel. It was like a weekly update. I'm going to go and read the email. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of take a screenshot and paste it here and just read it. Or I could just open up my email. Last time someone commented you've got private data and don't want to show your private data on stream. So I have to be a little bit more cautious about how I stream these days, because I don't want to show all my private data Let me just pull that across. I'll just do it. I think you can see my email, but that's fine. It's my Hotmail. It doesn't matter. It all goes to junk anyway. Even if you mail me, it goes to junk. You can see that I've used 4.5 gigabytes of 5. Right, whatever. Forget about that. So here, this is the update today. New updates, reviews, LOS discounts, and SEE controls. We've shipped 3 major upgrades designed to help you build trust, win more bookings, and maximize visibility across search and direct channels. Let's dive in. And here, customized listings, new update, traveler reviews. Look, this is something that we've been asking for like years, 3 years or more. Guests now receive an email from you, and you can leave reviews after their stay, helping you build trust, social proof, and conversion momentum. What's new? Guests can log in with their booking email to leave a review. Automated review requests, emails go out on checkout day. Reviews will be publicly visible on your direct booking site. How amazing is that? And you can track reviews in your dashboard. This, I have to try that out actually. Let me have a look. I don't have any reviews, obviously. Because I just don't. Not yet, because I haven't had any new bookings. But let me just log in to my dashboard and see if I can see that. Let me just come out of that page. So you're going to lose that page just so I can log in here, and I'll bring it back. Like you see, you're logged in. Go back to that. I'm looking at my other screen to see if I can find. Actually, I'll just bring it so fine. This is my dashboard. Where could I find the reviews? I haven't actually looked at this, so I should update that picture now. That's a pretty old picture. But it's a nice sunset. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. All right. All right, let's just continue. Smarter pricing. So I read all of that. That's quite interesting. Oh, leave a review. I don't really know where that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'll try and kind of have a look at it on this screen while I'm, because I literally have to click on everything and booking sites. I should have prepared this, huh? I don't know where it is. Sites. Alright, whatever. I don't know. I guess I have to find it for next week, huh? I have something to do. Unless I go into the listings. Guest reviews, I found it. So you have to go on the listings. I'll show you. So if you actually go into the listings, see that? And then you can click on the listing. And then you see it says guest review. No reviews found. So I'm obviously syncing from uplisting because that's my channel manager. And I haven't got any reviews from that. And let me click on this one. Guest reviews. All right, anyway, so you can see that it's there. So it's a new feature. Let's go back to this. Smarter pricing, granular length of stay discounts. Until now, Dtravel only supported weekly and monthly discounts. Now you can create granular LOS discounts, 2 night, 3 nights, and 5 nights, etc., that sync to your OTA listings like Airbnb to ensure price parity, drive longer stays with smart incentives, and maximize occupancy. So this is stuff that's happening in the background. No one really sees this stuff, and so that's why I'm here to kind of tell you this is what's happening. And then the listing level SEO controls. Now you have more control over how each listing appears in search results, customization, target high value, low competition keywords, etc. So SEO improvements. So here they're talking, with each release, we're making it easier for you to grow your direct booking business with tools that enhance trust, competitiveness, visibility. Okay, so you can see that the improvements are happening behind the scenes, and really the place to keep up with everything is the Telegram channel. That's where Andrea is saying happy Halloween. So happy Halloween, Andrea. I think she's still in Spain, in Barcelona. I guess she's going to be doing more videos and stuff and having fun tonight. And here, she posted this today, or a few days ago rather. Building projects that solve real world problems is what we do best. See that Dtravel has been featured in Adobe's Worldwide STR Tech Index 2026, etc. And here I can click on that and go and have a look at that. And I haven't clicked on this before. And naturally, I'm getting a blank page. Why? I don't know. What the? What the? All right, whatever. So there must be something there, except I can't see it. And there's no link. Let me refresh. Oh, there it is. I'm not going to read it. AI will take over guest communication. That's interesting. So they're kind of following trends. Compound systems that will grow to continue. Sorry, will continue to grow. New direct booking solutions will take hold. Look at this. As reliance on OTAs continues to raise costs and limit control, direct booking is regaining ground. This is big. This time powered by a new generation of purpose-built tools. And that's what we're building, purpose-built tools. Virtual reality and augmented. I don't know about that. In-stay experience. This is something else that we're talking about. In-stay experiences will grow. And so part of the reason why I'm here in Colombia, part of the reason why I'm going to the Amazon, part of the reason why I'm having these experiences here in Central and South America is because that's really a massive part of what Dtravel wants to kind of explore and grow into experiences. And the experiences are to do with wellness. And so there's a beginning trend to do with wellness and travel and wellness. Sweden travel prescriptions. So they recently, if I can, prescriptions. They recently launched, see AI is telling me they launched the Swedish prescription, a campaign that promotes travel to the country for its wellness benefits. It encourages doctors to prescribe visits as a form of preventative healthcare, recommending activities like nature immersion, forest bathing, cold plunges, etc., cultural visits. So this is a beginning trend. It's a new trend that's starting to take form, and a lot of people are focused on wellness, and this is what's going to grow in the future, and this is where Dtravel is kind of heading into. And that's going to be decentralized, where people will be able to bring their experiences. Honestly, you can go centralized and go to platforms like Airbnb. Airbnb will always control your business, manage your business. And it's a different kind of experience when you're taking control of your own businesses. And that's also why they're talking about direct booking solutions. And I'm not sure where Andrea got Dtravel being part of that, where she got that information from, but I guess I guess she got it from somewhere. Let me go back to Telegram. Oops. And then the other conversations that be going on, which is quite interesting, and it's actually what Kitty Komi talked about, and I actually found this really interesting. And so Andrea, so first Kitty Komi mentioned this, the opinion on this, and he posted a link in X, and he's saying it's quite a bold remark from one of the most powerful people in the world of finance, not just finance. How can Dtravel follow this path of tokenization? The Knight token may be food for thought. And so when I click on that link, what you're seeing is ZZ, and it's, I mean, it's a 1 minute video. Do I really want to listen to what he says? Probably not. He's saying we're not spending enough time talking about how quickly we tokenize every financial asset. The biggest wave isn't AI, it's tokenization. Every asset, every market moving on chain, and it's happening faster than anyone realizes. And so this is buy the rumor, isn't it? And build the rumor too, right? And so when you go back to Telegram, Kitty Komi is kind of making a really important observation. Andrea replies and says, we're witnessing the tokenization of everything, including travel and rentals. More and more people are choosing digital wallets over traditional bank transfers to avoid high fees, locked funds, and unnecessary friction over how they manage users' capital. Dtravel is being part of this path by giving TRVL holders travel and rental decentralized experiences, trade trips and bookings, and unlock new staking opportunities. And here Kitty Komi responds, thanks, Andrea, I appreciate your contribution. Cheers. But at the same time, it's very generic, and I'd love to go deeper in the discussion. His post, my post, was more about digging into future tokenomics. Again, tokenomics, to understand where Dtravel can excel into tokenizing assets. For example, we could tokenize unique stays at a certain venue at a certain time. It's like having a ticket for an event that could be seamlessly exchanged for money. I think the Knight token had this or a similar intent. Or we could tokenize local events that hosts can offer to guests, or we could tokenize assets that are not necessarily part of the stay. Like if you're a regular user of Dtravel, you may get tokens that can be exchanged for car rentals or amenities around your traveling destination, etc. I'd really love to know more about this because I feel Dtravel has the potential for this. And of course, maybe all of this comes with big challenges and caveats. I think challenges or caveats are we revel in challenges and caveats. And I think, again, I don't like to go back into the past, but I think the old leadership, the old style of Dtravel was veering away from challenges and caveats. They were kind of risk adverse. And I think what we have to do now is go full frontal into the future, and we have to attack challenges and caveats. And I 100% agree with you. We could tokenize everything to do with travel. The Knight protocol or the Knight token was an idea that I think only has legs with a business that is fully established and working and is basically a monopoly in its own right. And we just don't have that. So we don't have enough volume, we don't have enough properties, we don't have enough business, we don't have enough travelers coming to our network organically to make the Knight protocol function and work. And it's never going to be 100% anyway. It's going to be a small percentage of the travelers. And then to create the marketplace where people can trade Knight tokens, to trade Knight stays, etc. And when we're talking about much further down into the future, when Dtravel is already a unicorn or already a 10, $15 billion business, we're not there. And so I don't know how feasible it was to push with that, to lead with that, but the idea is okay, you know, the idea is good, and that's what you're saying in your post. And what we have to do is we have to look at all the options. So everything is on the table with the new leadership. And this is kind of what I've been talking about. With the new leadership, with Eric Pace as the new CEO, everything is on the table. Everything is about to change, yeah? And Eric Andrea, James, Quinn, Ty, me, everyone is looking at the feedback on the Telegram. We're talking to investors, we're talking to hosts, we're on the ground, we're experiencing new experiences in wellness, and we're looking at everything. And so I absolutely think it's possible in the future. No, I'm not talking long-term, far future. I'm talking near future, where we start to tokenize vacation rentals. And as a Dtravel collective or Dtravel, the whole decentralized application where we invite people to participate in the tokenization of rentals, where they will be owned by the community. It's just an idea, but I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. But why not? Why not explore those ideas? Why not partner with developers and tokenize and then use that on the Dtravel decentralized application? Why not? You know, so we're exploring all of these options. Why can't Dtravel go into that aspect of the business and tokenized experiences or tokenized stays, etc.? It's all on the table. And so what we're doing now is we're kind of exploring everything. And then when we're talking about the future tokenomics, and so this is kind of like a hot debate, the future tokenomics, what's it going to be? Look, the tokenomics that we're trying to create, or we will create, we need to create, is a token-based economy. That's what tokenomics is, a token economy, token economics, tokenomics, yeah? It's not just a utility token for Night Protocol, which may not be used. And now we're talking about 15 years in the future if Dtravel has the legs to succeed that far. No, we're talking about creating a token-based economy where every aspect of decentralized travel in that economy is rewarded with our token, and where the token can be used to purchase or to do things in that economy. Yeah. And so, for example, the traveler, they can be rewarded to token TRVL, then they can use the TRVL to invest in our own economy or to purchase services in our economy or to purchase stays or experiences or travel in our economy. Yeah. And that what you want is for travelers to benefit, you want operators to benefit, you want investors to benefit, and you want everyone else who's participating in the economy to benefit. But at the same time, what you want to do is you want to create tokenomics which leads to the growth of the real world network. And so it goes back to what I've always been saying, and nothing's really, I'm not saying anything new. I'm talking about the token price. Yeah. What we've done in the past is fail to link the value of the token with the growth of our network. And so for people like me, there's no incentive to grow the network because, okay, I'm spending all my time, money, effort, resources, whatever, connections to try and grow the Dtravel network. Yeah. But I'm not getting any rewards. I'm not getting any tokens back. And I'm not seeing a growth in my investment, which is TRVL. Yeah. So there's a disconnect. And this is what we have to address. We have to address the disconnect. And that's what the tokenomics will primarily do, so that when people see that, hey, I've just referred the listing and that's had an impact on the token price now, and all of a sudden I'm being rewarded. And not only am I getting rewarded with TRVL, but now the value of TRVL is starting to go up in correlation with the growth of our network. That's what we have to change. And then instead of people focusing on the TRVL price, they'll be focusing on growing the real world network. That could be traveling. That's growing the real world network. Hosting or adding hosts or adding properties to our real world network. Investing in Dtravel is growing the real world network, or adding services which support the growth and the functions of Dtravel, the real world network. And that's what we really need to do. That will be how we grow Dtravel and bring people from all over the world to Dtravel, because now TRVL becomes that asset, that lucrative asset that people will want, just like Bitcoin. Yeah. And so you'll have a limited supply, 1 billion tokens, and then the only way to access TRVL will be to either buy it or to participate in the Dtravel decentralized network. Just like Bitcoin, we have to follow Bitcoin's path. We can't veer away from Bitcoin. And I think the biggest problem with a lot of altcoins, especially what's happened recently with these bullshit meme coins, is that you have this bullshit tokenomics where seed investors get a lion's share, the original team, seed investors, and a portion gets given to the exchanges. Then you have the initial portion that gets sold into the open market. And then you have this kind of rubbish tokenomics, which is just basically stake this R token and we'll give you a really high APR. And that's how they pump their token. Again, they usually do that in the context of a Bitcoin bull market. And ultimately what it is a bit of a scam. It's a scam because the initial investors in the original project walk away with their money. And most of the time, these token projects, these altcoin projects fail. We're not doing that. We're trying to create a real world network and a real economy where real value or real growth on our network is going to translate to the growth of our token. Okay, the only way I think, honestly, the only way to do that is, personally, that's my opinion, is a Bitcoin based model. And then you have to give it value. You have to give it value through actionable use cases. And so that's what Dtravel will be changing. And the point that Kitty Komi is making is, yes, once you have the tokenomics, we can add aspects of tokenizing things to that tokenomics. Like, you start off with kind of your foundation and you can build on top of it. The foundation has to be sound, has to be solid. And so I've always, if you've ever followed my streams, if you've ever known me, you know that I always talk about the Bitcoin based model, tokenomics. And that's what I'm pushing for, the Bitcoin based tokenomics. No more, this is how many tokens we have, we're just going to flood the network on this kind of, it has to be based on Bitcoin. And so that's kind of what we're talking about. And the thing that you have to remember is we're not just talking about our tokenomics, we're also talking about everything that I mentioned in the first part of the stream about building and improving our real world network. And you can see all of that when you go onto the updates, or if you go to Dune Analytics and you're looking at Dune Analytics and you're seeing our network and how that's grown. Andrea talked about this. Let me have a look now. Look at this. Andrea said, this is huge. Look at that. This is huge. Let's have a look at this. Let me click on it. So this is a brand new listing. Let's see what it is. Greek summer. So the Greeks are invading Dtravel. Land in paradise. Book your dream villa directly and save up to 20%. Yep. GreekSummer.dtravel.com. How many listings do they have? 3 featured listings. Let's explore their properties. 74 properties. Oh my God. Can you believe that? Wow. Oh my God. That is huge, huh? Andrea wasn't kidding. What the hell? What just happened? See that? So we've just added 74 properties to the Dtravel. This is like, and look at the token price. Look at the token price. Oh shit. It's gone down. It's going down. So you see the decorrelation. We've just had this massive increase in our listings. Proper, look at that. Oh my God, they're nice, aren't they? Wow, this is huge. Yeah, look at this. A villa in Platanios. Let's have a look at that. I don't know why my language has gone to French all of a sudden. You can change that. I have no idea how to change it. It's funnier. So we have bugs to fix too. Let's have a look. I don't know. This is brand new, huh? I can't see any availability. Oh, there it is. Maybe it's because it's in euros. Let me change it to dollars, £2. No, it's still Pinay. It's a bit annoying. $37,640 TRVL per night. So if we can go for a week and stay here. Oh, that's why Google Translate. My Google Translate is translating to French for some reason. That's why. So here you can pay using credit cards, debit. So they've connected that to Stripe. You can see that, can't you? So that's really good, huh? And all of a sudden, who are these people? I think they've got an Airbnb profile. Let's have a look at that. My name is Dimitri, and along with George, and with combined experience of more than 20 years, we have found Greek summer villas. Well done. We're located in Crete. 4.71, 111 reviews, 4 years of hosting. Yeah, your properties are amazing. And what they don't realize is that the tokenomics is going to change. And when it changes, they're going to be pushing Dtravel like there's no tomorrow. Because that's what we want. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about people pushing Dtravel, bringing bookings to Dtravel, traveling on Dtravel, because they want to earn TRVL, where TRVL becomes the asset of choice, the valuable asset, the asset that everyone wants. And we only do that when we create some sort of Bitcoin-based tokenomics. Yeah, that is where we're going to head. That's where we're headed. And right now is the time to do it, because when you look at CoinGecko, when you look at the market cap of TRVL, our market cap at the moment is 2.7 million. It's like really cheap. Our fully diluted, that's because of the tokens that aren't in circulation, held mostly by the foundation. If you go and have a look at the tokens, have a look at the TRVL token. I don't know if you see, this hasn't been updated yet. And this is what we're working on to update this website. But what you don't realize is that maybe 640 or 50 million of the tokens is in the hands of the foundation. Yeah, it's not in circulation. It's in the hands of the foundation. And that's why. And so when you're look at the volume, 600, that's a lot. The volume is really high for the market cap. And if I go here to the historical data and show you, we've had really good volume, yeah, compared to the market cap. Look at that volume. We've had really good volume. And although yesterday, I don't know why yesterday we got really low volume. That's not correct, obviously. And there's a mistake in these two volumes, yesterday and today. I don't know why. And so I don't know how much lower we can go. I don't know how much lower we can go. Sorry, I didn't show you that page. Let me just bring it back and show you again. Sorry. Here. Look at that. So these two numbers are incorrect. But you can see the volume is quite good. And our volume is really good. You see our market cap is 2.7 million. Our diluted is 6 million. And the page that I wanted to show you, see, this is the tokenomics page on Dtravel. And this has to be updated. And what people don't realize is that like 650, I think it's about 650 million is in the hands of the foundation. That's not in circulation. All right. And so, yeah, so this is kind of what we're talking about. And it kind of we're looking to address all of the points. The other thing is that when you're talking about the tokenization of assets, and that's kind of what Kitty is referring to, why not take that one step further? Why not talk about DeFi? Why not talk about finance? Why not talk about raising capital? Why can't Dtravel do the whole thing? Why not talk about rewards? Why not talk about rewarding travel? Why not talk about rewarding operators and experiences? Why not talk about rewarding investors? Why not the whole shebang? Yeah. And I think the problem with the past was that we were very risk averse, and now we're not. And now we're looking at everything, and we're going to be exploring everything's on the table. Everything's changed. Yeah. And so right now we're in a little bit of a kind of I wouldn't say a gray area, but kind of like a little bit of an area of uncertainty, because people are just listening to my videos, kind of grabbing things from Telegram and some of the conversations, some of the remarks from Andrea or Eric, and they're starting to hear and read into those, read behind the lines and get their information there. But you kind of want to wait until the big announcement happens and the big announcements start to come. And that's what we're working on now. That's what, I mean, I'm just traveling and just experiencing Central and South America, but that's what the Dtravel team are working on now. And that's kind of why you don't hear much from them, because they're working. And generally speaking, regardless of Bitcoin, in the bear market, real world app, this is what I've been talking about. Real world applications do the best. Yeah. And that's because it isn't just about the application that grows. It's also about the business that's growing. And what we are is a business also. We're a decentralized business. We're a multi-sided business. We're trying to build a business for travelers. We're trying to build a business for hosts. We're trying to build a business for the crypto community. We're trying to build a business for the local economies that are contributing to Dtravel. And that's where most of the energy and labor is going to. And once we have those foundations in place with the launch of the new tokenomics, we're going to see an explosion. That's what I genuinely believe. And yes, watch this space. So let's kind of have a look at the charts. I'll finish off with the charts. We're kind of going back down to test support levels, aren't we? And it's not really exciting. Yeah. I kind of mapped out this ABCD pattern, and we kind of came back up into the value area and kind of going down. I think Bitcoin is feeling a little bit shaky right now. Generally speaking, when Bitcoin is shaky, you get quite volatile price movements with your low market cap altcoins. There's no real technical play here. We're in accumulation while either Bitcoin finds its absolute floor, or while people wait for the tokenomics and the big changes to be released. Wait, someone's writing about some other token. I've already talked. I have to kind of respond to them. And they're talking to me about QANX. No, it's not pre-recorded. It is live. But I don't want to get distracted because I've already talked about QANX. You just go back and rewind. So yeah, I'm talking about a bullish pattern here. It's looking like an M. I talked about this last week. Again, what I like to do with these kind of what I like to do with, I'm going to hide all of these. I just want to kind of share one thing that I'm also following, and I just want to show you. So let me just update the volume as well while I'm here. So it's a couple of things I just want to kind of pay attention to. We are in the value area, so we are range bound. At the moment, the volume range is kind of between the value area high, the value area low, and then you obviously have the point of control. Point of control is where most of the volume is. Yeah, so I've kind of roughly drawn that. We could go and attack the lows one more time. That's what it looks like it wants to do. one more attack of the lows. And ultimately, the biggest level to contend with is going to be the previous all-time low and the value area low, high, which is there. That's going to be the biggest area to contend with. So whatever happens here, if we get an explosive move to the upside, that's going to be an area to contend with. And what we need to do is we need to reclaim this previous range. It's between 9 cents and the previous all-time low. What the price needs to do is it needs to, whatever happens here happens, it needs to break into the previous range. And once that happens, then we're going to the moon. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for in the future. And right now, all I see is accumulation. The volume has increased, but we're seeing accumulation. But one thing that I was kind of talking about in the past, and I'm going to go to a different chart to show you. I'm going to go to my gate chart to show you. The reason why I'm using gate is because you have the original launch data. And I'm going to the weekly chart. Okay, I will pull the volume because I like to pull the volume in every case. And this is the volume on gate. Yeah, so everything's looking okay. Let me just delete that and get rid of these lines. It's about this time pivot that I was talking about. This trend-based time, right? And the trend-based time was from the launch pivot to the first significant all-time low to the first significant pump. The 618 landed on the all-time low there. You see that? The 1-to-1 peaked there. That was the 1.618. You see that? And the 1-to-2 gave us a pivot there. So for some reason, TRVL is flowing really nicely based off these first 3 pivots to create a pivot on every Fibonacci time pivot, isn't it? And it kind of put a pivot there out of sync, but then it put in a pivot there, and it's putting a little pivot there. And the next big pivot that I have is the 2.618, and that is the week of December the 22nd. And I'm not sure where the price of TRVL lands in December, but that's the next pivot I'm looking at. And then the next pivot after that will be somewhere in May. All right. And I've got 2 Fibonacci time fractals, time fibs. Let me find the other one. Did I mark out the other one? I'll have to redraw it. It's not a big problem. So I use the weekly time frame when I do this. No, that's not it. Which one did I use? I can't remember. That's it. So we have really strong alignment. On the 3rd week of December, we have 2 time pivots that land at exactly the same time on these different pivots. But there was another one I was looking at. Let me have a look. I think that was it. No, because that just gives you enough. So I think that was it. I had them before, but I must have deleted them. So I'm assuming it's that one. I think it's going to be a big week, the 3rd week of December. And I do wonder if because usually when you kind of come into that pivot, that's where you bottom out or top out. And so right now you can see the price is going down. I don't know if we're going to pump. Do we bottom out? Do we bottom out there? Alternatively, you pump. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a major pivot to be put in on the 3rd week of December. And the thing is, you just don't know right now because we're in the lows. Obviously, I'm thinking to myself, well, because we're in the lows, maybe we pivot. We put in a pivot there. How would that look on the higher time frame? It could be a big swing failure of the lows, or it could be another all-time low. It could be to take out this low. So this is the monthly time frame chart. It's actually looking really bearish. It's increasing volume, and October, the monthly candle is looking really bearish. We're closing lower, and so we haven't bottomed here yet, have we? And we also hit. We had a chance there. Look, you see here, I said it was bullish, and it went up all the way to 50%. It did go up, and then it's been rejected. So we got a clear rejection, and so now we're falling back into the lows. So we're looking for more liquidity. What happens next month? We have to see what happens. And so the other problem is we kind of I wouldn't mind if we had a 6 monthly inverse hammer here with increasing volume of sorts. And the other thing I would like to see is for the 6-month candle to close higher than the previous 6 months. So we kind of, it's tricky, isn't it? It's really tricky because no one can predict the future. And a lot of people are waiting for a lot of announcements on Dtravel. And so what we're seeing now is increased volume accumulation, but not enough to hold the price at a certain point. And because we're not seeing enough liquidity to hold the price, naturally what you're looking at the price, you're just seeing at the moment it's looking like that. It's like a downward wedge or a downward channel. That's what's happening at the moment. So we're still in accumulation. We're looking to go back and hit these lows at the moment. That's what it looks like. And I'm not sure how that's going to look because on the other chart, I was looking at a possible harmonic forming. Either you've got this ABCD pattern, but really that has to hit now. Again, you've got this, and that could easily take out though. That's bullish though. That's a bullish harmonic, wherever that pivots. And so does that pivot in December? Or you could pivot sooner. It's always kind of a range when it pivots. So we have to kind of see what happens. I think we're in accumulation. We just have to see what happens. But I'm not really focused on the charts as much as I was. Because right now, Bitcoin, it's all about Bitcoin. And while Bitcoin is doing whatever it does, it has a massive impact on these altcoins. Yeah. What we're doing on the higher time frame is bottoming out here. And that's just going to take time. And in the meantime, what Dtravel is doing is building. You see that? I've gone through all the updates. I've gone through the properties that are being added in Telegram. Yeah. I've shown you. And we're getting bookings. See that? Booking. The work continues. We just continue working. And generally speaking, in it, and I don't know if the bear market started, but generally speaking, the bear market, it's these real world applications. It's these businesses that do the best, perform the best, because they're adding real value to their token and to the crypto. And with something like Dtravel and TRVL, which is already really low, a lot of interest. And when you look at our real world network, and this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. When you look at our real world network, look how much value we've turned over and our market cap. Look how low our market cap is. 2.7. We're really undervalued right now. And it's just food for thought, not financial advice. It's just food for thought. And if you think about all of the properties, the value of the properties on our network and how that translates, right now it doesn't translate to TRVL value. And once we change that, there'll be a real shift in the token price. Yeah. And in that moment, we'll probably see a pretty enormous increase in value, probably. That's kind of what I'm expecting. And then this will all make sense. Because right now it's not making any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. All I know is that big changes are happening and they're going to have a real positive, as far as I'm aware, impact in the value of TRVL. That's kind of where I'm going to leave it for this week. So next week, I will not be streaming on Friday. I'll be in the Amazon jungle. And wish me the best. And so my next stream will probably be the week after, like in 9 days, same on the Monday, when I'm out of the Amazon. I'll be back in this hotel and I'll give you an update. I'll probably have some pictures of what I've been doing. If not, then I'll just, hopefully I'll be alive. Hopefully I won't have too many mosquito bites. And I'll give you an update on what's happening in Dtravel. Right, it's been a pretty long update. So that's Dtravel. I'll just have a look at the Telegram, the live chat. I can see a few people are talking about QANX. Dude, I've already looked at QANX. I've already given my thoughts. Shmoo is here. Welcome, Shmoo. Hey, everyone. A quick status update for the last day of the month. The QANX link audit is in its final stage. We will publish the update about it along with the monthly report of October on the first working day of November. That's tomorrow, the working day of November. That's Monday. So my next Quan update will, again, because I'm going into the Amazon, it'll be on the Monday, not next week, the Monday after. And if you want to look at QANX, if you want to go to the video, just go into my live video. Yeah. And you can just rewind it. Just go and rewind it. There, you see, I look at QANX and I'm going to cut that in its own video anyway. And I'll give you my thoughts on QANX, and that's kind of why I wasn't responding to Bull Money or Mohit or anyone else, right? So usually what I do is I do Bitcoin to begin with, then I do QANX, then I do Dtravel and TRVL, right? So if you come and you see I'm on Dtravel, TRVL, rewind, right? It's that simple, and none of it's financial advice, all entertainment value anyway. And in any case, I always cut and I post it later, right? So hope you have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, and we'll catch you next time. It won't be next Friday. It'll be a little bit later, probably the Monday after. All right. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you. See you.